All right, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to Let's Jazz It Up. Here I am, Lady Diva, here on air. Phone lines are open. I have with me a professional jazz saxophonist, Fostina Dixon, with me this evening. Miss Dixon, are you with me?
Yes, ma'am. How are you, Miss Moss?
All right. And thank you for tuning in, taking out your time to come on my platform. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bear, Delaware.
All right, Delaware fans.
Yes, ma'am. It's about 20 miles outside of the big city of Wilmington, Delaware.
Right.
And our capital is Dover, Delaware, and I'm about an hour from Dover, Delaware.
All right. Well, thank you for that information. So, tell us how your music journey began, Miss Dixon. What sparked your talent?
Well, when I went to elementary school, everybody in the block wanted to play an instrument. So we just kind of motivated each other. And I started on clarinet and rode to elementary school at a time when it was the norm to play an instrument.
Yeah.
And that's how I got started. And I continued playing clarinet throughout middle school. And when I got to high school, I decided that I wanted to go to a school that had jazz. I don't know how I got into jazz except for my mother's father.
Okay. I was about to ask you. Okay.
Yeah, my mother's father loved jazz, but I did not spend any time with him to have inherited that from him. So I don't know how I was interested in jazz as a child. But once I got interested, I wanted to go to a high school that had jazz, and that's how I chose St. Mark's High School. They had an excellent jazz program. My teacher's name was Mr. Clatch. Well, prior to that, let me go back because a lot of people know the legendary Robert Lowry. His nickname was Boise Lowry, and he taught Ernie Watts and Clifford Browne and Wilby Fletcher and a whole host of other talented jazz musicians who we know throughout the world. And he was one of my beginning teachers, private teachers. And then I went to St. Mark's. So it just all happened by osmosis. It just, took its own life form. Sometimes that's what happens when we just go with what our spirit is telling us to do, and it takes its own life. And that's what happened to music with me. Yes.
I read through your biography that you had also played with Roy Ayers, Tom Browne, Melba Liston, Calloway, Prince, Sammy Davis, and Marvin Gaye. And you toured.
Yes,
you toured for 4 years.
Yes, I did. With Marvin Gaye. I was just looking at some of his videos a couple of days ago, and so far I have not found any video footage of me with Marvin. But one of these days I will. But there's a lot of people at the time when I worked with Marvin. Nolan Smith was the musical director. And he's still with us. He lives on the West Coast. Bugsy Wilcox was the drummer. He's still with us. He lives in Vegas. So we still have some of the band members. Fernando Harkless, who was the lead saxophone player with Got to Give It Up, he's in Vegas and doing well. So we have each other to testify for the fact that we were with Marvin. but I have not found any video footage yet.
Well, maybe
So
you're going to have to ask, and you never know who has any video footage.
absolutely.
You have to ask for it. Put your name out there and ask if they have any video footage. Now, were you in the background, back vocal, or were you in the band, or standing in the back, or something like that?
Well, Marvin, as you know, was an excellent musician, and he really had an ear for a big band. So
Uh
at
huh.
the time, I was playing baritone saxophone. It was 5 saxophones, 4 trumpets, uh,
Golly. Okay.
3 percussionists, 2 piano players, an organist.
And that is big.
Yes, he
I
had
didn't know
4.
that. He did.
Yeah, 4 background singers and 4 or 5 dancers. I do communicate with his sister Viola Gay, and I don't think Viola has any footage either, because she would have shared it with me. So
You
yeah, it was a
probably
big band. That
you
band was
probably have.
awesome too.
Yeah, you probably have to go to the broadcast corporations like ABC, NBC, and CBS, wherever it was broadcasted. Those are the companies that the broadcasting companies you need to probably send a letter to if they have the footage of the whole stage, you know. Um,
Yes.
yeah, those broadcasting corporations. How many years ago was that?
Oh, I worked with Marvin between 1977 and probably 81. I'm not a
Oh,
time person because my life has been so full. I've been so
yeah,
blessed.
yeah,
And like I said, I just kind of went with where that spirit was leading me next. So I haven't been
yeah.
very hard, but I can remember that date because I had gone to Berkeley College of Music for a couple of years, and I had gone to California during the summer when you have a break from college, and to visit my cousin because I was too hip to come back to Delaware now, and
Okay.
I wanted to keep my musical journey going, and there were some
Yeah,
guys from Berkeley who we were going to have a band in California, and I was going to live with my cousin, and I think I was out there for like a couple of weeks, and I ended up auditioning for Marvin's band and made the
okay.
gig. So yeah, so I can remember that date, but like if you start asking me about some other timetables, I'm gonna have to scratch my head a little bit, but I'll do
Okay,
my
okay.
best.
Okay, well, you're doing very well, very well.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am.
um, so let's talk about the track I just played more. Is there a brief story with that track there? How you come up with the
Okay,
title, the melody?
absolutely. The song was written by my husband. His name is Todd Kilgo,
Okay,
and Moore was inspirational for him because more of the Father
okay,
whom he serves. So
okay.
actually, it's talking about more of God. Yes.
All right. Well, let's get into your new album, Vertical Alignment. Is there a brief story for this album, why you created it? Is there a brief story behind it? And I would like to play the track Vertical Alignment.
You want to play it now, or you want the story?
I want the story.
Well, it's not. It's not. It's not far from the first story. Vertical
Okay.
alignment is our relationship with the Father, and who art in heaven. And so my husband, Todd Kilgo, wrote that song also.
Okay. Okay. Well, here is Vertical Alignment. Everybody stay tuned.
Okay, thank you.